Welcome, everyone. Welcome this morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. I want to welcome everyone to the Public Speakers Association February Virtual Summit. And I'm really excited about our lineup today. It's going to be great. So welcome, everyone. And we'll go ahead and I'll start introducing our first speaker. All right. So Jarrett Ingram is the founder of the Standpoint Company. He is an entrepreneur and leadership and performance coach and has been an executive over leadership, culture, and business development. He helps to coach, train, and guide the business owners and their teams to live, embody, and accomplish the mission and purpose of their companies. Jarrett has a passion in developing strong leaders who develop strong businesses. He is also a speaker and has spoken hundreds of times to thousands of people all over the country. He creates and delivers impactful training content in an engaging way to have an impact on the listeners. As a sales and influence consultant, Jarrett has coached prominent businesses all over the country on principles of leadership, high performance, sales, and greater influence. Jarrett has a passion for teaching, was a religion instructor for 2 years at both college and the high school levels, and has maintained a strong passion for teaching. Jarrett believes that the real power to influence lies in self-development and in a desire to connect with and serve others. So, all right, let's everyone welcome Jarrett Ingram to the virtual stage. Jarrett, it's all yours.
Yeah, what a heck of an intro, right? Intros are the best when you can write them yourself. Hey, I'm super glad to be here. Super grateful that I was invited to be on here, and thank you for all of you guys being here. What a great time it is to be together, to be alive. It's a beautiful day. I don't know where everybody's coming in from, but I'm in Utah, in Utah County, just south of Salt Lake. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. And you know, as I started my morning, I'm kind of a big believer in own the morning, own your day. And so as I tried to own the morning this morning, got a little exercise in, got my gratitude journal in journaling in as the sun was coming up. I was like, is there a better day than today? And that got me thinking, is there ever a better day than today, than right now? Think about that phrase. Is there ever a better day than right now? And the truth is, there's not. In fact, there is no other day or time that exists except for right now. What happened yesterday already happened. It actually doesn't exist anymore. It's over. And tomorrow doesn't exist yet either. So all we have is right now. There literally is no better time than right now. No better day than right today. So I hope you guys are all super pumped. I'm going to share some slides with you so you can get to know me a little bit, if that's okay. Brian, do I have permission to share slides? Will it let me?
Yes, you're a co-host.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, there it goes. It wasn't letting me for a quick second. Now it is. Guys, I'm super grateful. So Jarrett Ingram here. I would be not recognizing the situation of what's happening today if I didn't tell you, as you're looking at the screen, okay, Jarrett Ingram, I started the Standpoint Company as a consulting and speaking business to go help other people. I am passionate about developing humans and developing businesses. And it fires me up. It lights me up. It helps me feel like I matter. Maybe it's a little selfish because it makes me feel like I'm making the world just a tiny bit better if I can. And you got to hear the funniest story. So I got asked to speak at an event 2 weeks ago. The night before, I go to send in my slides and give them all my info. And you can see right below the Standpoint Company, jarrettingram.com is my web address, of course, my URL, and my email is Jarrett, my first name, at jarrettingram.com. So we go to send the stuff, and her name is Nicole, who's running this event, and she goes, "Oh, it's not pulling up." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not pulling up?" I go to my URL, jarrettingram.com, and it is like website down. I'm like, what? I immediately get an email, and there is a dude sitting in Turkey who decided that he wants to have my website and he's willing to give it back for half of a Bitcoin. And that literally just happened. So I won't spend too much time on that, but I was able to get the URL back. So congratulations there to a whole team of people who were in it, who were on the back end, and who knew how to send somebody a smaller portion than a whole half of a Bitcoin. We did have to send some. But as I was thinking about some of the great things that have happened in my life, they're almost always accompanied by an equal greatness of difficulty, an equal greatness of sabotage of something. It can be you're excited to go somewhere and then your battery's dead, right? Or you're on your way to do something amazing and somebody's sick, or the baby didn't sleep last night and you woke up tired. It doesn't matter what it is, but there is something that happens, and it's almost like this mirrored object. So I say this all the time, actually, and I would suggest it for you. If you're here right now, and if you're going to be watching this, you're somebody who's trying to level up, you're somebody who's trying to do awesome things, and you're somebody who's got plans to make and create and to do. And let me tell you something, as you level up, guess what? The devil's up. All right, decide, you call it whatever you want, more levels, more devils. Okay. And guess what? When you're pointed in the direction where the wind is in your face, where you're feeling the resistance, where things maybe aren't working out the way that you want, I'm here to give you a high five and tell you you're probably pointed in the exact right direction, right? In fact, I'll tell you another quick little story. I for a time, I was living in Ecuador, doing a service in humanitarian aid, Christian mission down there. And a little boy, he was 3 years old, in this little town. It was this little like super dirt town called Ventanas, which means like the windows. And it's in the jungle of Ecuador. And it's a little like hilly, and it's so hard to describe the amount of poverty that's in this little town. And this little boy, everybody knows everybody, this little boy gets lost. He's 3 years old. And we are, as we're walking through the center part of the town, we soon discover that there's something going on. And they lived in kind of the middle part of the town geographically. And then there was a hill that goes up this way to the north part of the town. Then there's the hill that goes this way down towards the south part of the town. And nobody knew where to go. It was scary. There was animals. It was a jungle. It was a nightmare. And we're like, we got to help. We don't know where to go. And then this old man, he comes out. His name's Pepe. Pepe comes out and he goes, "You guys are looking the wrong way." And they're like, and we all said, what do you mean? That, where they lived, there was a park kind of close by, and then uphill there was another like little park thing. So we were all moving uphill and, trying to find this little boy. He had been walked, I don't know, hundreds of times by his family. They all walked just up the hill a little bit to the park. And he goes, "Nope, learn this lesson forever." He said, "Jarrett, when somebody gets lost and when somebody loses their home, they walk downhill." I was like, "What?" He's like, "When kids don't know where to walk, they walk downhill. They take the easy way out. No one wants to walk uphill. They walk downhill. It's easier to walk downhill." And I have thought about that lesson over and over and over in my life. How many times have I let go of the thing that I wanted? Or how many times did I get lost from home, whatever that home is? Sometimes it's a goal. Sometimes it's just the thing. It's the dream. It's the thing I'm after. And as you get into this complacency place and you become that little 3-year-old boy, you will always end up walking downhill, which is not the way to go. So guess what happened with the little boy? Here's the punchline. We were all looking around these parks and we were going uphill. As soon as this old man, Pepe, told us, we walked downhill, and the boy was found in like 15 minutes. He had walked down and he was sitting around the corner of this other little brick building. And it was just mind blown. And that lesson has stayed with me. I'm originally from Southern California. Here used to be my family, except this picture's a couple years old, and we just had another little baby. So the oldest is standing up, and that's she. So we went girl, then boy. I'm holding the boy, of course, and then my wife's holding our second girl, baby 3, and we just had baby 4, which is another boy. So final score 2-2. We're so stoked about it. Originally from Southern California. And you could see that here. And then we moved to Utah. This was our next picture. And we went from here to here. We thought, look at what I'm wearing and what I'm standing in. We thought we were just going to go out and take family photos. I'm wearing a t-shirt. Like, I was not prepared. So things happen all over and over in your life, and we have since got used to it. But this is my little family, what lights me up, kind of gets me going every day. And so I want to share this tiny little clip. Have you guys ever seen the little video UHF? In fact, Sam Diamond is watching right now, and me and Sam talked about this yesterday. So some of what I'm going to share over the next little bit might feel a little bit like this video with this guy. So hopefully the sound comes through okay. John, is the sound coming through?
Sound is not coming through.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Then we're not going to watch it if the sound's not coming through. Look, sabotage, my friends. But go watch that clip. Go look up the movie UHF. Go watch that clip on YouTube. It's so funny. He takes the little boy and he's like, you just won the prize. You get to drink from the fire hose. So that's what you guys get to do right now. I'm passionate about these things that I'm going to share with you. And these are some lessons that have absolutely changed my life. And here's the first one. You know, I sat in a meeting with Les Brown in 2017. He spoke at an event that I got to speak at, and we were involved with this company, and it was really awesome. And backstage, we sat in this green room, and some of you have met with Les Brown and have sat with Les Brown, and he's the most funny, energetic guy ever. And so as we're sitting in this room, though, he gets serious, and he goes, Jarrett, money's not the most important thing. And I went, oh, we're about to hear something amazing from Les Brown right now. He's getting serious, okay? I'm like, okay. He's like, money's not the most important thing. And then I'm trying to go with that. I'm like, no, yeah, it can't be. Yeah, no. And he goes, but Jarrett, it's up there with oxygen. So he goes, it's not the most important thing, but it is up there with oxygen, okay? In fact, if you have none of it, that's almost all you can think about. If you've ever been in a situation where you have not been able to pay your rent or your mortgage before, that is all you can think about, is how do I get this done? But then something magical happens when, as soon as you kind of figured out the process, all of a sudden money is not the thing that consumes your life anymore, right? It's like it doesn't take up your whole cognitive load anymore. And this is one of the lessons that I've learned. Money does not lead. Money is not the thing that you need to be chasing. Don't pretend like you need to go get a deal. Find a deal. Go get after this thing. You'll be doing the wrong thing the whole time. If you put money out in front and you start to chase it, you're going to be chasing it forever. Money doesn't lead, money follows. And what does it follow? Well, it follows good actions and good leadership and good business and good juju. Decide what that is for you, right? If you haven't dove in, we don't have enough time today, but if you haven't really taken a deep dive into what it means to create some magnetism around you, some law of attraction around what you're putting out and what you're receiving back, you need to do that. In fact, that's your homework for tonight. Okay, here's this. I have 3 major laws of monumental success. I've had the privilege of experiencing some terrible things. I've been able to experience massive loss. A lot of people brag about how much money they've made early on. Well, guess what? I got to lose my first $1 million when I was 24 years old. I thought I was amazing. I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I knew how to do this. It turned out I was riding a wave of a big economy, and I had amassed a really awesome situation in my business. I had a catering and events business in Southern California. And as the market tanked in 2007 and 8, guess what? Everything got taken away. In fact, we lost almost everything. And it took figuring out really these 3 main things to resurrect that business and to scale it back to multiple 7 figures and to do well. And so here's the first one. If it is to be, it is up to me. Take ownership. Owning where you are, who you are, where you're going, and how you're getting there. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to do everything by yourself. Okay, that's a different conversation. It doesn't mean that you're going to go around doing everything by yourself. But if you are not willing to take responsibility for everything that's occurring in your life, you're not ready to be called the leader yet. And you're going to keep experiencing those things over and over and over. If you're looking at a pattern of your life where you're interacting with the same people, where you're having the same kinds of relationships, where you're experiencing the same kind of financial situations, here's the laws of monumental success. Number one, if it is to be, it's up to me. Number two, you have choices. Choices. The most downtrodden, low points of my life were points where I believed I did not have any choices. Nothing was up to me anymore. I was just along for the ride. And there'll be situations in life where it's not your choice what the stimulus is. It's not your choice what someone else does. But if you realize that you always have choices, even if that choice is just how you respond, how you decide to take the situation, it will be like a magic trick, I promise. Guess what? When I was 24, then I was turning 25, and I had gone through this lowest point, and we were almost losing this business. We were trying to get it figured out. When he told me that it was a choice for me to decide to be happy or not in whatever situation I found myself in, it blew my mind. I'm like, no, it's not. I can't be happy. The government just tanked the economy, the housing market, the this, the that. It was everybody's fault. There's no way I can be happy when people are acting like that. And as he challenged me back and forth and said, nope, you always have a choice. You're in control here. It just changed the way I looked at everything. And it changed the trajectory of my life. Everything changed after that. And here's number 3. How freaking bad. When you write this down, write freaking in between the how and the bad. How freaking bad do I want it? These are the laws. These are the 3 questions. If it is to be, it's up to me. I have choices. And how bad do I want it? And guess what? There's going to be things that you encounter in life where you go, oh, this is hard. I guess I don't want it this bad. And you get to own it. You get to stay true to you and say, oh, this thing's going to be too hard. I'm not willing to put in the work. But if you can get so clear, how bad do I want it? You'll push through anything. You'll get through anything. It doesn't matter. You get there by not quitting. You get there by going every single day, doing something. How freaking bad do I want it? And if you remember, how bad do I want it? When it's hard, you'll remember that. Okay, do I want it? Do I want it bad enough to get through this hard? Or do I want to eliminate the hard more than I want to accomplish this thing? And as you have that conversation, and as you remember, how bad do I want this? Boom, you'll get after it. Okay, so here's something that is going to blow your mind. This picture came out a few years ago. Some of you have probably seen it. When this came out, and I want to share this with you, when this picture came out, there were like Facebook groups created for this. There were like, look, what do you think's happening as you see this picture? There were Facebook groups about like UFOs and like, all these kinds of conspiracies happening. And they were like, we knew it. We knew they were hiding these things from us, right? Until somebody went, oops, what if we just turn the picture over? Whoops. Then they were like, oh, my bad. I guess we just needed to turn it over. Just a car. It's not a floating UFO at all. It's not this. It's just a car that drove into a pond and they're rescuing the car. Sorry. How about this right here? Feel free to throw it in the chat, or if Brian's okay, feel free to jump in. How many colors do we see in these balls right here? Or you hold it up with your fingers. How many colors are here? Brian, hold it up. How many colors are here? Hold up your fingers. 4. Exactly, right? There's 4. Until you remove the background, and then we see that there's only 1. Is that Travis? Is that Travis on here? Good to see you, Travis. So, look at it again. When we look at this thing, we can be so hell-bent that there are 4 different colors of balls. I'm looking at it. I can see. Stop lying to me. I'm seeing that there are 4 different colors until we change how we're looking at it just a little bit. And then we're like, oh, my bad. Have you ever been so hell-bent on being correct until then the way you looked at something changed what you were seeing, and you were like, oh, my bad, sorry. Isn't that super fascinating? How we can be so certain of something. We're looking at it with our eyes, and all that changes is how we look at something, and it changes everything. The same image. So then what we're looking at...
What color is the dress?
It's blue and black. It's always blue and black. So look at this. Perception, guys. Perception is what you see. Perception is what you are currently experiencing, what you see. And it's very hard to challenge your perception. Remember, looking at all those different colored balls, you are absolutely certain. You're looking at them with your eyes. How do you challenge that back? Perception is what you see. But perspective is how you see what you see. Sorry, that loaded slow. So perception is what we see. Perspective is how we see what we see. So to change what you see, you need to change how you see it. Does that make sense? Do this little thing with me really quick. Okay. It doesn't matter if your camera's on or off. I don't have to see you. And it doesn't matter if you watch this replay. I want you to do this little exercise. So I want you to look up, okay? Take your finger, start spinning it clockwise, okay? And looking up at it. Just spin it clockwise, okay? Then slowly start bringing it down. Keep it clockwise. You spin it the same way. I promise it's not hard, okay? But now bring it all the way down. Look at it from the top. Is it still going clockwise? No, it's not. As soon as you changed how you see what you see, then what you actually look at changes. So what happens when two people are looking at something from a different angle and they're both totally correct? Well, guess what? It's not about being right. It's just about getting to the end goal. So here's some questions that help change your perspective. The first one always, what am I grateful for? If you can bring gratitude into things, your perspective will absolutely change. Second one, what do I truly want? What do I truly want? Remember, like the laws for monumental success, how bad do I want it? Well, this one right here. If you want to change your perspective, what do I actually want? Do I want to be right now? Or do I, what do I want? What is the end outcome of this thing? If there's an argument that's happening, what do I want to have happen? Do I need to just be right? Or what is the actual end goal? And then, how am I part of this problem? The next one, how can I be more helpful? This one's magic right here. If I were to give my heart, what would occur to me to do? And that question is magic, especially when there's an issue, people to people, right? If I were to give my heart, what would occur to me to do? And then, is this really happening to me or is it happening for me? And the last one, what can I learn from this? Oh, somebody's not muted. Mute yourself. Okay. So I'm gonna share a story with you. Oh, hold on. It's not going. In fact, hold on. Oh, this was so weird. Okay, I'm gonna skip forward and share a story with you. Okay, this is a picture of my wife and I in front of a Beechcraft Bonanza. Do any of you guys know anything about little airplanes? Oh, so have any of you ever flown in a little airplane? Yeah? Okay, one of my favorite things to do is to fly little airplanes. And since I was a little boy, I dreamt of going in the air. It was one of my very favorite things. I mean, that was the thing that would take my attention away super fast. And so when I decided, well, it was about, let's see, probably 8 years ago now, I decided that I was going to go get my pilot's license. And I talked with my wife and I said, let's do this. And I was so pumped. And I showed up to the flight school and I met Captain Kirk. Okay, his name's actually just Kirk, but I called him Captain Kirk because he was the flight instructor and the captain. And as we're going, Captain Kirk sits me in the left seat, which is actually the pilot seat. The right seat is the co-pilot seat. So he sits me in the left seat and I'm so excited. And we do all the pre-flight stuff, and we taxi down to the end of the runway. And he tells me, okay, when I say go, you're going to go full power on the power here, full gas on the power stick. And I said, okay, great. So he's doing all the radio and the comms, and it's really fun. And then he says, okay, go. So, we get cleared for takeoff. I don't know any of what's being communicated on the radio. It's fine, but I'm super excited. Can't even believe it. I'm about to live my dream right now. I remembered I talked with him about why I wanted to be in the air. Coming from Southern California, and so much traffic and just stuff everywhere. The idea of flying through the clouds was just so freeing. And so he goes, okay, let's go full power. So we go full power. We start hauling down the runway. And we get to about, 70 miles per hour or so, knots really. And he tells me rotate on the comms. I'm like, I don't know what rotate is. And he's like, pull back. I'm like, oh, okay. So I pull back, and in an instant we were airborne. And it was the most incredible feeling ever. We were just floating. And then it was just, it's so hard to describe how amazing that was. And we take off, and we head out to this known practice area in Southern California. We get up to altitude, and if you've never been in a little plane, they are not smooth at all. In fact, they're super bumpy. They're a little bit scary. They're, that if you're not used to it, that they feel everything that's happening in the air. There's different pressures, the wind is going in different directions. There's dips of the wings that sometimes, one side will dip, and then, or the front will bounce or come down. Or sometimes things will buffet a little bit, and you'll feel it kind of shake. And it was terrifying. I wasn't prepared. I just thought we were going to go smooth sailing through the clouds. And in an instant, I thought we were about to die. I froze up. I couldn't move. I was literally so scared. Like one of the most scared I've ever been in my life, just frozen. And he taps on my shoulder, because I'm in the right seat, or in the left seat. He's in the right seat. And he's like, Jarrett, are you okay? And I look at him, and I'm like, Captain Kirk, is there something wrong with the plane? As we're like kind of bouncing a little bit. And he goes, what? And so he says, okay, my airplane takes the controls, because he was letting me fly it up in the air. And he takes the controls, and he says, Jarrett, you don't know what it looks like to be in an airplane having a problem. You don't even know what it looks like. You've never been in one. You've never felt it. And he shared this lesson to me. He looked at me and he said, welcome to flying, Jarrett. This is flying. Welcome. He was a leader who offered a little perspective. You see, what I was looking at, what I thought I knew was, we're about to die in an airplane. And he shared a little perspective, changed the way that I saw something, and everything changed for me. In fact, now when I'm in a little plane, the little dips of the wing, those things that were so terrifying, the feel of an airplane, the airplane feels a little bit more like being on a boat in the water. You feel the little swells, you feel the little, the little waves that happen if you've ever been on a boat in the water. And that's how little planes feel. And now when I go up there, the very things that were terrifying me, those very things that just had me convinced I was going to die, now have become the things that just absolutely make me stoked. The things that get me so excited to be up in the air. And it just took a leader to share a little bit of perspective. So that's what I want to do for you guys today. I want you to go back. Somebody take a screenshot of this right here. These will change your life if you did not write them down already. If you're not happy with where you're currently at, if you're not satisfied with how things are going with your situation, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, it could be spiritual, it could be interpersonal, it could be social, it could be with your relationships, it could be in business. If you're not okay with where you are, if you want to change what you see, you have to first change how you see it. Most of the time, the problem that we think what we think the problem is not the problem. The problem is actually what we're labeling the problem. So if you want to change what you see, you have to change how you see it. And this has absolutely changed my whole life. The 3 monumental laws of success, and then questions to change your perspective. I promise if you do that, everything will change for you. If you want to be a speaker, if you want to get on more stages, if you want to build a business, if you want to create a brand that's magnetic and attractive, that's the way to do it. And the things that are scaring you to death, the hard things that you will encounter, because you'll get to fly your own airplane. You may not be actually flying, but you'll in your business, in your career, in your journey, you're going to be flying your airplane. And the dips of the wings, the people that are going to say no, the people that are or the hard encounters that you'll have, the sabotage that will occur, those are the dips of the wings. And you can either decide, I'm scared to death, I'm going to die, this is not working, I should quit. Or those can be reminders that you are literally living your dream. You're living your entrepreneur dream. You're living your dream as a parent, living your dream as a speaker. Now go get after it. And thanks for letting me be here. You guys are amazing.
Thanks, Jarrett. And if anyone wants to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
Super good question. Thanks, Brian. So I'm all over social media, Jarrett Ingram. You can email me. My email is working. We did get a hold of that back. So jarrett@jarrettingram.com. And that's probably the easiest way.
All right. Thanks, Jarrett.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So yeah, it's time to move on to our next speaker. So Erin Ley is an award-winning speaker, best-selling author, business empowerment coach, and host of the Life on Track TV show. For over 30 years, Erin has shown tens of thousands of business leaders globally how to become victorious by being focused, fearless, and excited. Her specialty is in creating and fostering corporate cultures of love and respect, which drive purpose, productivity, and profits. Erin's mission in life is to introduce the idea of love in the workplace to encourage team building, loyalty, and leadership. After overcoming a terminal cancer diagnosis at the age of 25, Erin has taken her personal survival journey to create a step-by-step process for realizing true peace of mind, synergy, and success. To see how Erin's ideas work in action, download her latest book at Work Love from worklove.com. And that's spelled LUV. So workluv.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. I'm Erin Ley, and I am the founder and CEO of Onward Productions. It's all about onward and upward in my world. And I've been an empowerment coach for 30 years. I'm the host of the Life on Track Summit, the host of the Life on Track online streaming TV show. And it's all about getting into the driver's seat of your life, not my life, not somebody else's life, the driver's seat of your life, and how to turn your challenges into peace, purpose, and prosperity, how to become resilient and confidently, powerfully create the life you want. That's everything that I do. I'm all about vision and decision, and I can't wait to get into this with you here today. People always say, Erin, what is your story? How did you get into all of this? And so very quickly, my story, the backstory is in 1991, 30 years ago, I was working on Wall Street. I had the Series 763, the insurance license, doing power lunches, and I loved my house out in the Hamptons with all of my friends and my pocketbook and my shoes, and I was so superficial. I was so incredibly superficial. And then I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoblastic lymphoma. And in 1991, nobody lived with that diagnosis. It was a very rare pediatric kind of cancer. And the doctors told me, I was 25 years old, and they told me if the chemo did not work as fast as the tumor was growing, I'd be dead in a month. I'd be dead in a month. So I went from really superficial to really driven to find out more about life and the body and the mind and the spirit. And so I started reading all of these personal development books, these self-help books. And the first book that I read, and if you have a pen and paper, write this down because it was a game changer for me. And this is a game changer at any age. And the book is called Full Catastrophe Living by Jon Kovach Jr. That's Full Catastrophe Living by Jon Kovach Jr. And it deals with every stressor you can imagine. Personal stress, environmental stress, family stress, financial stress, anything that you can think of. This book dealt with all the different stressors. And in 1991, in the back of the book, there was a cutout where I was able to send a check in, snail mail, and they sent me back this cassette tape on mindfulness meditation. Again, for me, a game changer. A game changer. I was never able to quiet my mind for 30 seconds, no less 30 minutes. And it was just incredible. Jon Kovach Jr. So all the personal development books, all the cassette tapes that I ordered and listened to, I went really deep, really fast. I was like the woman from the beginning of the movie The Secret, Rhonda, only it was 1991, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I craved more and more and more of it. And so as the protocol went on, and I was responding to the chemo and the treatments, and also to what I learned about this whole inner world that I had no idea existed, my body started to respond. So the tumor was shrinking, and there were a couple of times where the doctors came into my room and I had an infection and they didn't know where the infection was coming from. I had a blood count of 0 because of the round-the-clock chemo, and they came in crying, telling me that I was going to die. And I have the chills right now, even thinking about that moment. And they said that they tried everything. They did everything that they could do. They were crying. They were, the doctors were very upset, and they were going to call my parents. They asked me to get my things in order. And I was thinking, my TV and my stereo from my parents' house, like, get my things in order. This is crazy. And I thanked them for trying, and I asked them to get the hell out of my room. I'm a New Yorker. Like, you didn't tell me about this whole inner world. I love my doctors, but I found out on my own, again, about this whole inner world, which I'm going to share with you here today. So they left, and I did get out of the hospital. Obviously, I went on, I lived, and the doctors were shocked. I had 7 blood transfusions. Like, there was just this egregious antibiotic, and nothing had worked. So anyway, I lived, and they were shocked. So that happened a couple of times, and the doctors were always shocked. Like, how is she doing this? How does she keep doing this? So at the end of the protocol, the 2.5 years of egregious chemo and radiation, because they basically just threw the kitchen sink at you, again, 1991 with lymphoblastic lymphoma. And so I survived the protocol, and not only did I survive, I thrived thereafter, and I went on to have 3 kids that they swore would never happen. They really believed that I'd never be able to conceive and have children. And I didn't store my eggs because, I didn't understand what they were talking about, and so I didn't do it. But after I got married, I went on to have 3 miracle kids. So Sloan Kettering, the doctors at Sloan, started having their patients call me at home. And that's how I got into coaching in the 90s. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So for years, I worked with cancer patients, and then I started working with their family and their friends who just felt stuck or overwhelmed, or they wanted to build a business and they didn't know how, or they wanted to scale their business, or whatever it was. They just felt stuck and distracted and overwhelmed. So I help them become focused and fearless and excited about life. And that's what I do to this day. So how do I do that? It really starts with having a vision for your life. I'm all about vision and decision. Anybody that knows me knows I'm all about vision and decision. Have a really strong vision for your life. Crystal clear. What do I mean by that? So write pen to paper, write down exactly where you want to be a year from now. Let's just start with a year from now. And in this vision, get really detailed, the people you want to be surrounded by, the work you want to be doing, just, and down to the eye color, real details, the eye color of the people involved, and the clothing. So write it down, bring it alive with the 5 senses, okay? With the sight and the smell and the taste and the touch and the hearing. And so you want to bring that vision that you write down for yourself alive. Okay, and you want it to be crystal clear. In other words, like, if you're ordering food to be delivered, you're not going to just say, yeah, I want, a meat, a starch, and a vegetable, right? Now you would say, let's say you want a steak. And you wouldn't say, I just want a steak, a potato, and a vegetable. You would say, let's say I want a ribeye, medium rare, with a twice baked potato and broccoli, like crystal clear. That's how clear I want you to be in the vision that you write down for yourself. So after you write the vision down, you bring it alive with the 5 senses. You're going to smell the cologne and the perfume and the food on the table, the sound of the music and the laughter and the feel of the love in the room, and the climate. Just really bring it alive with the 5 senses and the 6th sense of intuition. Okay, and then the secret to the secret to the secret to the secret is bring it alive, and then have the feeling as if it's happening right now. Okay. So have the feeling as if your vision beyond your wildest dreams. We're not here to live a mediocre life. Okay. So you want to have that vision play big. It's going to be a strong vision beyond your wildest dreams. Bring it alive with the 5 senses and have the feeling as if it's happening right now. Like you are immersed in that vision that you created for yourself beyond your wildest dreams a year from now. You're immersed in that vision right now. Okay, so what happens when you do that? So you've heard, or maybe you haven't heard, but thoughts become things, right? What we focus on expands. So what we're thinking about, we will put out to the universe, to God, to whatever you want to call it. What I say God, universe, infinite field, source, spirit, whatever it is to you, higher power. Put the thoughts out of what you want for your vision out there. I'll say to God. And then the feeling that we have that matches that thought is what we bring back to us. Okay, so our thoughts let God know, higher power, infinite field, whatever you want to say, exactly what we want based on our thoughts, good or bad, whatever we're thinking about, that's what we're saying we want. And then we bring back to us the people, places, and things that will make that a reality. So it goes from possibility to now it becomes your reality. So forward to fast, my experience also, I had the 3 kids and I was married for 20 years. And 22 years later, I went through a tumultuous divorce. Shocking, devastated, the chaos, the confusion that I was going through at that time. I went into fear, lack, and scarcity. I had this momentary lapse of judgment of the, I let go of the gratitude and the abundant mindset, and I went into shock, and I had the fear, lack, and scarcity. So when that happened and I was concerned, and I'd be laying in the bed and I'd wake up in the morning with that that feeling of anxiety, thinking I have the 3 kids downstairs, that I have to provide for and take care of. And so what happened? My hot water heater flooded my basement, and all these things kept happening. I'm like, why is it all hitting the fan all at once? And then I realized, oh my God, Erin, you're so off purpose. You have to do what you did with the cancer. And because it was like my identity was thrown in the air, my future was thrown into question. All these things were happening that was so similar to the cancer. So what I did was, and here's some tips and tricks, some strategies also, I meditate within the first 17 seconds of waking up. I did it with the cancer and I did it post-divorce. Within the 17 seconds of waking up. So then I grounded myself. I gained clarity from the minute I got out of bed, that carried me throughout the day. And I would read my mission statement, my vision that I created for myself every morning and every night. So I was programming my subconscious on what exactly I need to do to make that happen. So meditating, visualizing, and again, if you have a pen and paper, this book, Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain, Creative Visualization by Shakti, Shatki, Gawain, Gawain, an amazing book that I read in 1991, Shakti Gawain, Creative Visualization. So I did the meditation, I did the visualization. So it's powerful when you combine those two as you're meditating. And I would listen to classical music to balance both hemispheres, right? As we're children and we have both hemispheres firing at the same time, children are like sponges. So as adults, when you listen to classical music, it gets both hemispheres firing at the same time. So I listen to classical music, and before you know it, I'm making decisions throughout the day that are not all over the place. They're not wonky. I'm making decisions that are literally leading me toward that vision, that ultimate destiny that I created for myself, with the help of God getting me there. So that's what I want you to do with regard to vision. It's so important. And today, and the divorce was just a few years ago, and today I am healthier, happier, and wealthier than I've ever been. I brought my business to 6 figures in a year and a half. And I did, and by doing exactly what I'm talking about here. Really strong vision for what I wanted my business to be. Really, really crystal clear. And meditated on that and the visualization and bringing it alive with the 5 senses, having the feeling as if it's happening right now. And here we are. Thank God. So that's vision and decision. And again, I can't stress the significance that can have on your life, especially if you're trying to turn challenges or hardship into peace, purpose, and prosperity. The inner peace that you gain. Let me give you an example. When I was in Sloan Kettering and they were telling me I was going to die, and like all these things that probably would have sent me into like a massive panic attack, obviously. I had peace. I had peace because I had clarity in what I needed to do and what I wanted for myself. And when you have that inner peace, you're aligned with who you really are. And when I have the chills again, I have the chills even thinking about it. Because I can remember that moment in Sloan. in Sloan Kettering. So when you have that shift and you go from being completely off purpose, like I was, I looked to the outer world for validation for everything. Everything. How my hair looked, was I good enough? Was I pretty enough? Was I smart enough? I looked to the outside world for validation. What people told me became my truth, what I believed. And then I programmed my subconscious to believe, whatever everybody else was telling me. Until that moment in Sloan, where I had this massive shift in mindset, and I had this wake-up call, this visceral, every fiber of my being was engaged in this moment where I literally became aligned with who I truly am. I became aligned with my soul. I can't even explain, I can't put it into words, but it was full alignment with who I really am. And when you have that moment, it's like you can't unknow what you know. For the rest of my life to this day and moving forward, it changed the trajectory of my entire life. I love feeling aligned with who I am. And I feel like I had that experience as part of my life's purpose. And I love helping other people become aligned with who they truly are, what they truly want, help them create the boundaries and the self-confidence that they love. I just absolutely love it. So in creating a vision for your life, this is what I love to do. And so, okay, so now you realize and you see, just based on my experience and what I'm sharing with you, how important vision is, creating vision for your life, and how it could just change everything for you. And again, when you become aligned with who you truly are, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. The minute you introduce doubt, let me just say this and write it down. This is really, really important. The minute you introduce doubt into your world, into your life, into your beliefs, it stops everything. The momentum that you have with regard to living your life, I am a lover of life, a lover of life. The minute anybody introduces doubt, it stops everything. It stops and it throws you off track. So the way to not deal with doubt is to live in faith. When you're taking action, and that's so key, action is key. We can't just think things and think that, everything's going to happen for us. We have to take massive action. Remember what I'm about to say. The most successful people in the world only focus on and speak about what they want. They don't focus on and speak about what they don't want, what they can't do. They don't sit there going, I'm not good enough, or what are the neighbors going to think? They don't do that. We take the most amount of action. Successful people take the most amount of action, and we fail forward. We make the most amount of mistakes because we take the most amount of action, fail forward, but we let go of the negativity very quickly. Again, we don't sit there going, oh my God, what was I thinking? Or, and stay focused on, oh my God, what are the neighbors going to think? Or I'm such a failure, or I'm not good enough. We don't do that. We don't do that. We let go of the negativity very quickly because we know the negative effect that it can have on us. So we let go of that really, really quick. It'll never serve you. Negativity will never serve you. Let go of the negativity very quickly and always take the lesson forward. Always, always, always take the lesson forward. Otherwise, we are doomed to repeat the same mistake over and over again until we actually learn the lesson and then bring it forward. So the most successful people in the world only focus on and speak about what they want, not what they don't want, make the most amount of mistakes. So embrace your mistakes, embrace your failures, quote unquote perceived failures. It's okay, embrace it. And let go of the negativity and just always, always take the lesson forward. All right. So now that you're crystal clear on vision and decision, because the decisions you make then will get you toward that ultimate destiny. Love that. Self-talk. I want to speak to you about how you speak to yourself. This is so important because how you speak to yourself is how you're programming, again, your subconscious and your mindset. Mindset is everything. As far as I'm concerned, mindset is everything. Like when people say balance your energy, I'm like, balance your mindset and your energy will be balanced. Balance your life will balance your mindset and your life will be balanced. And it all begins with how you talk to yourself. So for instance, I was in a clubhouse. Oh my God, it was back in January. Yes, it was back in January. And this gentleman in this room in Clubhouse said, well, Erin, we're our own worst enemies. I was like, he did not just say that. He did not just say that. No, we're not our own worst enemy. We're our own best friend. We're our own best friend and our own biggest advocate. And it's a choice. You have to choose. Do you want to be your own worst enemy, or do you want to be your own best friend? That's a choice. Society will tell us, and there's that very popular expression, how we're our own worst enemy. And it's nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. And again, it's a choice. And I want you to choose to be your own best friend. Because when you're your own best friend, you could be the best friend to other people. How are you going to be the best friend to others if you can't be your own best friend, right? So embrace your heart, your mind, your soul, your body. Love it. Look in the mirror and say, I love you for who you are right here, right now. Just embrace it. Embrace where you are right now, no matter what. And love yourself. So when you're speaking to yourself, look in the mirror and say, you are so beautiful. You are so handsome. You are so cool. You're so good to people. You're serving others. And I know personally that when we're serving others, that creates happiness, right? When we're constantly chasing happiness, like when we tell ourselves, oh, I'll be happy when I lose 10 pounds. Oh, I'll be happy when I have that perfect partner. Oh, I'll be happy when the bills are gone. Happiness is so elusive that when we chase it, it'll disappear. Whenever we chase happiness, it just slips right out of our fingertips. So happiness comes from within, and happiness comes from serving others. So when when you get up in the morning, if you find that you're in a bad mood and you're telling yourself, oh, life is awful, and I don't like my job and everything else, say to yourself, okay, why am I saying this and doing nothing about it? Right? You can look for another job, you can create your own business, and the best way to get out of your head and into your heart to feel better is by doing something for somebody else, serving somebody else. If it's by going to the soup kitchen, and helping out there, or volunteering to help, with young boys and girls, whatever it is to help them, to get out of trouble, or help somebody with their business, or whatever it is. But when you serve somebody else and you say to yourself, I want to get out of my head and into my heart, and say to yourself, I'm a really good person, and I know there's something I could do to help somebody in this world today. I know there's somebody out there that's looking for my kind of help, how I can help them, because you're special. There's no two of you. So the self-dialogue is so key. So many people have self-limiting beliefs, which leads to self-doubt, and that just leads to any kind of fear, whether it's regret, remorse, resentment, anger, anxiety, depression. Whenever you have the self-doubt, it just always leads to something negative. So now that you're aware of that, and you can change it by changing from doubt into faith, from doubt into gratitude. You cannot be in gratitude or appreciation and be in anxiety at the same time. You can't. You can't be in fear and in faith at the same time. Okay, what I'm about to say is really, really powerful and really key. So I want you to just lean in and hear this. The present moment is where all of your personal power is. It's where all of our personal power in the present moment. Whenever we think of something negative from the past, that's depression. Whenever we worry about something negative in the future, that's anxiety. All of your personal power is in the present moment, right here, right now. So if you want to manifest something in your life, if you want to bring something into your life, if you want to create something, we can't do it from the past and we can't do it from the future. We can only do it from this present moment with the personal power that you have right here, right now. And we create from this present moment from one of two places. One place of negativity. Yeah, we create from negativity in the present moment. And we create negative people, places, and things. We manifest that in our lives and the experiences. And we also create amazing things. People call me the miracle maker. We create amazing, amazing things from the present moment in gratitude and appreciation. Dr. Jeff Fannin explained to me that appreciation even has a higher vibe than gratitude. And gratitude is an amazing vibe to live in. So appreciation is even that much higher. So if you're in the present moment in gratitude or appreciation, you will bring to you the people, places, and things that will make your life so good, so good. So I want you to be really diligent about the thoughts that come into your head, right? We have no control over the thoughts that come into our head, but the one thing that God gave us full control over, the universe, spirit, source, higher power, whatever you call it, I call it God. The one thing God gave us full control over is our thoughts, what we do with the thoughts after they come into our head. We have no control over what comes into our head, but we have full control over what we do with them. We don't have control over anything else at all. We don't have control over our blood flow, our heartbeat, other people, nothing. We have no control over the weather. We have no control over anything except for that one thing, the most powerful thing that God gave us full control over, what we do with our thoughts when they come into our head. And we have a choice, and I love that word choice. I love that word choice. We have the choice of either allowing the negative thoughts to stay, and the longer we entertain a negative thought, the more life we give it, and that is never a good thing. It's never a healthy thing. So choose to let the negativity go. If it's constructive criticism, that's a completely different story. But if it's just that negative self-limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, that like where you just basically like thinking of yourself and just allowing the garbage to build up in your mind and your body and your soul, let it go. Let it go. Choose to switch intentionally into a place of gratitude. When I was living in the fear, lack, and scarcity, during the divorce, when I had that momentary lapse of judgment and I was like, oh my God, and I was in that fear, lack, and scarcity, it was awful. And I knew when I started to recognize the pattern of the negative people, places, and things that were just showing up in my life. I told you earlier, Erin, you got to do what you did with the cancer. And I switched into gratitude. So when I was living in that, and when I switched with the finances into the place of gratitude, and I was appreciating the tiniest things, like on the steps, change, quarters, pennies, nickels, dimes on the steps, going up, let's say from, my first floor to the second floor. I just would pick it up and go, thank you, God. Thank you, God. And the more I did that, the more checks would show up in my mail unexpectedly. It was just absolutely incredible. I've been coaching for 30 years and I stopped everything for a few years to focus on the family. And there was a lot going on. My sister was also diagnosed with cancer at the same time. I became the point of contact and I really had to stop everything to focus on the family. So when I came back and also, how as an empowerment and success coach at that time, for that short time, if I felt so disempowered, how am I going to coach anybody else? I'm not that kind of person that can just do that. So I needed to feel fully empowered in order to empower others. So when I came back, and again, I started from ground zero with nothing. I had written books and I had done a radio show and I had a history of success, thank God. But financially, I started with nothing. And I was able to start from scratch and grow my business to 6 figures in a year and a half based on everything that I'm sharing with you here. So if I'm able to do this with regard to health, family, finances, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically, in every realm, to be able to succeed to this level, then what I'm sharing with you has to, I want you to start implementing this into your life. Okay? You can do this. Meditate, create that strong visualization for your life, where you want to be a year from now. Bring it alive with the 5 senses and have the feeling as if it's happening right now. Do not introduce doubt. That is a dream crusher. And live in faith, not fear. Live in gratitude and appreciation as opposed to worry and anxiety. Sharon Lecter once told me that worrying is just a prayer for what we do not want. How profound is that? Worrying is just a prayer for what you do not want. When Sharon Lecter said that to me, my whole inside was just like, oh my God, it sums it all up. So, and your self-talk. Make sure that you're really, really good to yourself with how you speak to yourself. So you're your own best friend. You're your own best friend. So you can be the best friend to others as well. I just love sharing this with all of you. And I'd love to share my free gift with you, which is a free coaching call with me, a 30-minute coaching call with me. And you can go to my Calendly, my online calendar, which is calendly.com/Erin Ley, calendly.com/Erin Ley. And you can schedule your appointment with me, a 30-minute coaching call with me there. And this has just been such a blessing and such a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you today. So I look forward to seeing you again, and always remember to live onward and upward. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Erin, for that wonderful message. That was great. I needed all of that actually. All right. So our next speaker is Erik, Mr. Awesome Swanson. And Erik is an award-winning international keynote speaker, 13-time #1 best-selling author in 5 different categories of success. Erik, Mr. Awesome Swanson, is in great demand around the world, speaking on average to more than 1 million people per year, and honored to be invited to speak to the Business and Entrepreneurial School of Harvard University, as well as joining the TEDx Talk family with his with his latest TEDx speech called A Dose of Awesome. Mr. Swanson has created and developed the super popular Habitude Warrior Conference, which has a 2-year waiting list and includes 33 top named speakers, all in a TED Talk style event, which has quickly climbed as one of the top 10 events not to miss in the United States.
Hey guys, my name is Erik Swanson. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here with you and your awesomeness. Again, Erik Swanson, speaker, author, trainer, all the really cool stuff. And let's get started. I'm going to talk about this. Look, I want to share with you guys some principles of success in regard to what I call crush and dominate. So what am I talking about, crush and dominate? Well, it's part of my book right here, as you can see right there, displayed for you. Crush and dominate. And by the way, I don't know if you can see this, but the subtitle is 13 Strategies to Piss Off Your Competitors. Yes, 13 strategies to piss off your competitors. I'm going to share like 3 major ones right now. So you ready to get started? Let's do this. So number 1 is realizing that it is a mental game. And what I mean by mental game is it's in our mindset to be successful. Okay, so here's the deal. If you aren't playing a mental awesome game with yourself every day, then you may be sabotaging your success just a little bit every single day. So what I mean by this is literally enhancing your attitude of awesomeness. How do you do it? Well, by simple things that you could do every day to constantly remind yourself that you are in charge of your life. You're not going to allow other people to come in and rent space in your mind, and you're not even going to charge them rent for it. How many of you all know some people like that? How many of y'all know some people that they walk into the room and the lights seem to flicker or dim a little bit? Have you noticed them before? That's a sign. It's a sign for you to stay away from people like this, because it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you, and it's not going to help you help other people. So it is realizing that it's a mental game is step number 1. Now, what I do is I do 3 major things to keep myself in check every day. All right, now here's number 1 is create your awesomeness. I'll explain, actually I'll tell you all 3 and then I'll go right back to each one. Number 1 is create your awesomeness. Number 2, create your intentions. And number 3 is create your dream team. That's what I call it, the dream team. Okay, so number 1, create your awesomeness. What do I mean by this? Well, literally, you have a choice. You have a choice of accepting circumstances that are going to happen around you every single day. I mean, think about it. You get up in the morning, you get lots of things going on, right? You could stub your toe. You could drop the coffee. You could, be late for an appointment. You could whatever, There's so many things, and that's just inside your house. When you get outside, what are you going to allow other people to determine your future, or are you going to? My answer is nope. I do not let that affect me, because I'm very cautious and conscientious about what I allow in my mindset and how I allow myself to interpret what's going on. I have something, a saying that I say to myself, and it's, you have to pee every day. And spell pee like this, P-E-A, okay? So you have to be positive, you have to be energetic, and you have to be awesome every day. Now, how do I do it? Well, create your awesome. What does create your awesome mean? Well, for you, it might mean something else. For me, it means little things like you get up in the morning and create your awesome. Yeah, that means putting some really cool tunes, music on, and having that, you can actually set it with all the different electronics these days and all the music things and so forth. You can actually allow your alarm clock, set your alarm to wake you up with the awesome music that you want to listen to. What's that song that really gets you going, gets you awesome, right? Create that mood. Create the lighting. Have the nice sun coming in through the I was going to say through the trees. I assume you don't have trees in your home, but maybe you do. Through the windows, there we go. But create that lighting, create the ambiance, create the awesomeness. A friend of ours used to call it PME, which stands for positive mental environment. So creating the environment that you want to live in is really, really important. And teaching people how to live in this environment that you want, right? That means teaching others how to treat you. This is the way you want to live. That means when you're going out there in the real world and you come across people, well, you allow them to realize that you're in a state of awesomeness. You're in a state of energetic awesomeness, and you want them to be that way as well. Now, some people will abide by that. Some people won't, and that's fine. Those are your determining factors of who you're going to surround yourself with. So, number one is create your awesome. Number two is create your intentions. What I mean by this is literally set your intentions in the morning, or what I do is the night before. Right? I set my intentions. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to tackle these 3, 4, 5 awesome things, projects that we're working on, and we're going to do it in this fashion, in this organization, in this attitude of awesomeness. All right, so create those intentions. What are your intentions? So I'll give you another example. Every Friday in my company, what we do is we help other people. That's our intention. All Fridays. Every Friday, we don't take any incoming calls for our company, for signing up for our programs or our masterminds or anything like that. All we're doing is we're helping other people with their companies, with their projects. And that's our intention every single Friday. So create those intentions. It's really, really key. And the third thing is create a dream team. What do I mean by dream team? Well, a dream team is people that you surround yourself with, right? Who's on your team? Do you have a team that's supporting you, or do you have a team that's really draining you? Here's the deal, guys and girls, guys and gals. The deal is energy is around us anywhere and everywhere. It's all around us. And it's up to you to determine which energy or energy field you want to bring into your life. Can you just feel my energy right now? And by the way, this is me pretty much 95% of the time. I'm serious. It's not just because I'm on camera right now. This is me. If you meet me, you will see that I'm very similar to the way I am right this second, because I feel energetically awesome this way. And it's okay if others don't feel that. It's okay. You at least know that you feel that way. And now, getting back to the dream team, who are you surrounding yourself with? What I do is I have a series of different exercises or things that I need to ask, a series of questions for people to realize if they're going to be a good fit for my group, my project, my team, my employees, etc. It doesn't have to be employees, by the way. It could just be your friends around you. Who is on your dream team of support system throughout your life? Now, obviously, people are going to come and go. There's seasons, right? I realize that. But, there's a saying years ago, people used to say, you are the culmination of the 5 people you surround yourself with and the 5 books that you read. I've got all my book library here and so forth. I don't know if you can see all this stuff behind me here or even below me here. But it's true. It's true. What you're putting in your mindset and what you're putting in your heart and your attitude and your awesomeness, that's going to carry over for outside when you go. And I say outside, it could be physically going outside. It could be going to a virtual thing like this. What are you bringing, and where are you bringing it to? Okay, so build your dream team. Now, who's on your dream team? Why don't you ask them, what are the 5 books that you've read over the last, 6 months? By the way, think about that question I just asked. What are the 5 books that you've read over the last 6 months? If they're not readers, they may not be leaders, right? I want to find people who have read, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, who's read all these different books that we have, from I could name tons. Some of them. Brian Tracy. I've got a lot of Brian Tracy because he was my main mentor. If you're not familiar with where I came from, is from Brian Tracy. I worked with Brian for years. 23 years ago, I started with him, and I branched off. I started working with other speakers as well, and now I run the Habitude Warrior Conference. You may have heard of it, and it's got a 2-year waiting list to get on our stage. And we have speakers like Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Sharon Lechter, anyone from The Secrets, but pretty much been on my stage. You name it. I mean, so many different amazing speakers and authors and leaders and trainers and world thought awesomeness people. Don't quote me on that one, but you know what I mean. So the point is this. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Now, how do you surround yourself with these awesome individuals? You bring value to them first. So it's almost like a bank account. Right? You're going to open a bank account. You don't go to the bank account and say, "Great, I'd like to open a bank account. Can I have some money first?" No, it doesn't work that way. You have to deposit money into your account, into the bank, and that's what you got to do. So what I do is I seek out opportunities. I look for opportunities to help other people. Right? I see somebody and I say, "You know what? I've got a really good market in social media this way. Why don't I assist you and get you some more exposure and introduce you to my tribe?" That's awesome. People love that, by the way. You should write that down, by the way. Introduce you to my tribe. They want to know who are your followers, and they'd like your followers to follow them. That's what it's all about. That's what marketing is all about. So that's one way to crush the competition, is by providing so much value to the people you want to surround yourself with, and in return, they start sharing value with you, and boom, all of a sudden, you've got a really great connection. It's amazing. I incorporated something called the elephant list. It's a really cool thing. What you do is this: you write down on a blank piece of paper, you write down 10 names of people that you want to focus in on meeting over the next 6 months. 6 months to 12 years. I mean 12 months, excuse me. Not 12 years. 6 months to 12 months. And put it in this piece of paper. And guess what? It's already going to be in the universe by putting it on the piece of paper. And then sure enough, percentages and the universe will work to your advantage and introduce you to these people. It's amazing. All right, so that's number one, is really creating your awesome, creating your intentions, and creating your dream team. All right, I want to go into, and that's all the mental game, by the way. That's all the mental game. I want to go into number two. I'm going to give you 3 major points. Number one is the mental game. We just talked about that. Number 2 is raising your rates. It's very simple, very straightforward. Here's the deal. You've got a certain price tag that you've put on yourself, okay? And what I mean by yourself is, it could be, they hire you to be their consultant. It could be they're hiring you to do all the work for whatever project you're working on. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're in sales, if you're whatever business you're doing, you have a certain rate that you're charging, right? Does that make sense? A price tag that you've already put on yourself. Now, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to raise that. I want you to raise the thermostat. I want you to raise the price tag that you've placed on yourself. So I'll give you an example. And there's many reasons why to do this, and I'll give you an example though. Let's say you're a speaker, and I'm a speaker, okay? I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I run masterminds and so forth. Let's say you're a speaker and you're speaking on stages and you're only charging $5,000 a speech, okay? And it's a 60-minute speech. Raise your rates right now. Decide right now, and go to your spouse, go to your friends and say, I now charge $8,000 a speech. Just raise it, okay? I'm telling you, here's what's gonna happen. A few reasons why you wanna do this. Number one is it will elevate your thermostat of your own self, what's called self-worth or it's like self-comfort zone. All right, so you're raising that comfort zone for yourself, and you have to believe it though. You have to believe, because think about it. Ask yourself this question: if someone pays you that amount, whatever that amount is, the higher amount, is it worth it? Is it still worth it? My answer is, of course it is. Of course it is. Right? And if it's not, then maybe you should readjust what your value or your deliverables are. Maybe you need to add some more deliverables. Maybe you need to add some bonuses to the project or program. Excuse me. And the program could be anything. Could be a speech, could be, whatever you're offering, okay? So raise your rates. Now, here's another reason why you want to raise your rates. It gives you more of a threshold to come down to where you were a little bit ago if you need to, do a concession, do a discount, right? Or what I call compassionate pricing, right? So it gives you more flexibility, okay? And reality and mentality is very important on raising your rates. What I mean by this is you putting it down on paper and on your websites and on your literature that you've raised your rates. Now it's sticking in reality for your clients, existing clients and your potential clients. It also is going into your mentality. That means your all of your cells, all of your being will finally step into that new rate, and you will thank me for it. Trust me, it works. So that's number 2. Number 1 is the mental game. Number 2, raise your rates. Number 3, and I'll finish on this. Number 3 is landmark videos. Landmark videos is one of my all-time favorite things. It's written in, I'm basically sharing some principles from Crush and Dominate, 13 Strategies to Piss Off Your Competitors. Get the book, it's amazing. Or just go through our program. Go through our mastermind. That's what you need to do. Go to awesomemastermind.com. It's awesome. Okay, getting back to this. Number 3, landmark videos. Here's what I teach my students, and it is so good. It's such a great technique. What I want you to do is I want you to vow to yourself that you are going to take a video, a live video. I prefer it to be live, like broadcasting live, to maybe at least 2 or 3 out of the 5 major social media platforms there are out there. Now, which of the platforms? Well, I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of them. There's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, there's Snappy Chatty, or whatever that is. There's Instagram, right? Everyone's doing the IG, right? Instagram. And then there's YouTube, okay? So there's basically 6 different, 6 different really cool social media platforms. Now, if you want to follow me on any of them, just go to awesomeswanson.com. Pretty easy, right? By the way, little timeout and bonus for you. Make it easy for people to follow you, all right? Make it easy. I could have told you, think about it. If you were talking to me right now and you were saying, oh yeah, Instagram, I think my handle or my username is whatever it is. Actually, I have to think about what mine is. I think it's Habitude Warrior. But if you go to Twitter, it's something else. And you go to Facebook, it's a little slightly different, right? Here's the scoop. Just have one landing page that gets your followers to look at it and say, oh, I resonate with Facebook. I resonate with LinkedIn. And I don't know why they're checking mark. They're clicking it, and they go right to that particular social media platform. Make sense? Make it easy for people to follow you. So for me, it's awesomeswanson.com. Pretty easy, and nobody can misspell it, right? Awesome Swanson, pretty easy to spell. And then just add the .com and get that URL, have the landing page. Anyway, there's your little bonus. Getting back to landmark videos, here's what I want you to do. I'd like you to think about the location that you're in. Okay, where do you live? Now, I live in a lot of different places. I live part-time in the East Coast. I live part-time in Scottsdale and part-time in San Diego, California. And you just pick a place. Like I used to live up north in Northern California in San Francisco. I'll just use as an example. It's a great example. So pick a place that you live. Now, in that case, it's San Francisco area, the Bay Area. You grab your cell phone and a selfie stick. You could use that. Or just grab a friend of yours and say, hey, I'd like you to record me for 5 minutes. That's it. Here's what you do. They're called landmark videos, okay? Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go find, once a month at least, you're gonna do this. I would like you to do it a little bit more than once a month, but once a month is fine. It's totally fine. You're gonna do a video that's gonna explain that landmark, whatever that landmark is. That's a really cool, landmark. It's a famous place, like in San Francisco. I mean, just pick it. Golden Gate Bridge. There's the Bay Bridge. I guess that's pretty famous too, right? Alcatraz, right? What else? I like Coit Tower. That was amazing. I did a high five line all the way up Coit Tower and back. It was great. So if you know the area, you know what I'm talking about. So what I would like you to do is this. You let's say you pick Coit Tower and you grab your selfie stick and your video camera, which is this thing, right? Just use your phone. You're good. And take a nice quality. It doesn't have to be rehearsed or anything. It could be just talking to the camera. And here's the way it sounds. Something like this. you get on the camera, you go, hey guys, my name's Erik Swanson. I'm a 5-time #1 best-selling author. Enough about me. Hey, I want to talk about this beautiful location I'm in. I'm here at Coit Tower. Have you guys ever been here before? Look, I looked it up before I got here. I looked it up. The history of this is amazing. It was given to San Francisco by this wife of a firefighter here in San Francisco. And I got to tell you the story, right? I think that is part of the story, actually, because if you look at it, Coit Tower, it looks like a fire hose. So anyway, but the point is, though, you're going to go through this really cool 3, 4, 5-minute video talking about this really cool landmark. So you have something to talk about. Does that make sense? Just like this frog. I have something to talk about. Nobody's asked me anything about the frog yet, but anyway, we'll get back to that later. So the point is, though, and yes, love does conquer all. All right, and yes, you have to believe. Okay, so there's my little things. Okay, the point is, though, you have something to talk about. So some of us are a little timid on video. You know, I'm fine on video, but some of us are not. So it gives you kind of a crutch to lean on, because you're talking about something really cool, right? And then what it also does is this: it allows you to get more exposure out there in this world of, you know, internet and Wi-Fi and whatever this is, the social media, right? It gives you more exposure, social media exposure, which is tremendous. And what it also does is you're getting the exposure. People are following you more, but you're not selling them on anything. That's key. The way I sell, here's the way I sell. I'll just tell you straight out. The way I sell is by not selling. I sell by not selling. What I mean by that is, you already know. Like, I'm a coach. I train on all these different. If you want to be more successful, if you want to make, you know, $10,000 in a week, great. Call me. I'll show you how to do it. It's really easy, right? But and I run masterminds. There's another thing. Just reach out to us. That's my selling. It's very simple. But if you have the landmark videos that I'm talking about, this gets you the right exposure out there, so people can see that you're a real person. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're smiling. And you're just educating the world out there. It gives you such a level up over the competitors out there in your industry. Pick your industry. It doesn't matter what industry, by the way, because most industries, what they're doing is they're talking about their business. They're talking about themselves. They're talking about me, instead of, check this out. Let me share some education with you. Let me share what's exciting for me to share with you. You know, in this case, you know, in San Francisco, it's a really cool place. You can do this anywhere and everywhere, by the way. You know, just pick a place and share that awesomeness with the world. And then at the end, say, hey, if you want more videos like this, or if you'd like to follow us, please go to, and you give them your simple landing page that's going to have more followers, and then maybe there's a button for them to you know, for you to lead gen them, or ask them, you know, call to action is what they call it, right? So that's what I highly suggest. So there you go. I want to end it on that note. Actually, let me just share this. I'll share with you a lead gen and a call to action. Here they are. Lead gen. Go to awesomeswanson.com. Check it out. Follow us. Follow us so we can follow you. It's a great way for us to connect and help each other. I'd love to do that. So just go to awesomeswanson.com, click on whichever social media outlet works best for you, and let's connect. And then the call to action is pretty simple. We have a mastermind. Our mastermind's amazing. It is amazing, guys. It is a true mastermind. Just to let you know, just to be clear about this, our mastermind is called the Habitude Warrior Mastermind. It is a true mastermind where we actually go through bylaws of rules and regulations on how to run the actual mastermind, which is a 90-minute virtual, just like this. Like, well, we would be on a Zoom, private Zoom link, and we cap it to 14 members per group, and it is awesome, guys. So if you want more information on that, and check it out. By the way, we don't sell you anything either. That's another thing. How many of y'all, I mean, just raise your hand. Have you ever experienced this where, are you raising your hand? Have you ever experienced this where you go to let's say a mastermind, and all it is kind of a platform for the organizer to sell you more things, or to bring in different people to sell you more things? We don't do that. We don't do that. This is a true mastermind. It's such a great experience. It's such a great support system. It's based off of habits, attitude, and the Think and Grow Rich principles of one of the obviously the book right here, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. So if you want to check that out, please do. You have two choices. Either go to awesomemastermind.com, or if you'd like a guest pass to join us at one of our upcoming mastermind sessions, what I call a ride along. It's really cool. Basically, you're a fly on the wall, or somebody just told me a frog on the wall. Anyway, hey, literally frog on the wall. That's funny. If you want a guest spot just to sit in on one of our mastermind sessions, just to see if it resonates with you, and if you resonate with us as well, then check it out. Go to mastermindguestpass.com. mastermindguestpass.com, and you can sign up. We have limited space for guest passes, but hey, check us out. It's a lot of fun. It's so educational, informative, and the growth patterns from our mastermind members, it is amazing. So we'll see you guys there. awesomemastermind.com, or go to mastermindguestpass.com. Again, my name is Erik Swanson. Love being here with y'all. Enjoy the rest of the summit. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks, Mr. Awesome. Let's transition to our final speaker. So Jon Kovach Jr. is an award-winning and international motivational speaker and mastermind leader. Jon has helped thousands of professionals overcome their challenges and achieve their goals through his 4 irrefutable laws of high performance. Jon is founder of Champion Circle Networking Association, and Jon is a national #1 best-selling author. Jon is the mastermind leader of the Habitude Warrior Mastermind and the Global Speakers Mastermind and Masterclass. Jon helps business owners save thousands of dollars through personalized merchant processing. All right, so it is time to turn the virtual stage over to Jon Kovach Jr. Jon, take it away.
Awesome. I'm going to be tuning in here from my my cell phone. I think I had a smudge on my camera. So I'm going to look for the opportunity to speak from here. Can you hear me okay? Ryan, does this work great?
Yeah, that's working.
Awesome. Okay. I am pumped. I literally walked over, put on a suit coat, even though I'm in my office. I'm wearing no pants because we're on Zoom, and I'm here, game face, ready to rock and roll. I'm so excited to share some information with you, but I also want to share with you some insights that will definitely help you improve your life, but improve your life in a way that maybe you didn't know was possible. I always think of things in accelerated formats. If accelerated formats is the way to go, then you will achieve things at faster rates. And that's what I'm all about. I don't want to achieve things in 10, 15, 20 years down the road. I went to a meeting. It was like a financial planners meeting. My first time ever meeting with a financial planner. And the financial planner, Brett, bless his soul, but he said, so, when do you want to retire? And I looked at him, I said, retire? What the heck are you talking about? I'm having way too much fun. If I retire, what the heck am I going to do? He said, no, live on your own. Like most people create a 40 to 45 year plan at your age. I'm like, no. Despite popular opinion, I don't want to retire in 40 years. I'd like to work in sprints. I'd like to go for 2 or 3 years really, really hard, and then take a couple of years off, and then go another couple of years, and then take another year off, or whatever I need to do. And some of you are like, that's not a sustainable life. But you know what? To each their own. Anyways, I might sound crazy, but I want to give you guys a little bit about myself. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. Essentially, it started at age 12 when my mom was working hard to build a steady flow of income so that the family could do normal things, because we were not really normal. We were kind of impoverished, and that was just not fun. I mean, I'd go to school wearing my jeans that I was wearing for the last 3 years, and we didn't really have new stuff. It was just kind of a burden. Like socially impacted every single one of my siblings and I. And so my mom tried really hard. She really, really wanted us to have a normal life. And so my mom and I started a vending machine business, and we helped pay for vacations and getting new school supplies and just all these wonderful, amazing things. That led to a series of other entrepreneurial projects that I'm not going to tell you about today, because what I do want to share with you are several irrefutable laws of high performance. In my bio, I should have corrected this, but I have several irrefutable laws of high performance. And in fact, there's a book coming out in the future. I'll share it with you guys soon. But I've realized over the years that there are not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laws. There are dozens of laws of high performance that I have acquired, that I've learned, and that I've experienced over the course of my life. And here's my credibility to that fact is that at one point in 2012, Jon Kovach, was wearing a I was wearing a jersey and spandex. I had spikes on my feet, and I was about to compete in the men's decathlon at Colorado State University, where I was on the road to the Olympic trials. This was a big deal for me. I was going to do a decathlon. You guys, the decathlon is a track and field event. It is 10 events, 2 days, the grueling, most difficult journey any track and field athlete could ever endure, and to do both, high jump, long jump, pole vault. They got discus throw. They've got shot put. They throw the spear of javelin. They do the 100-meter sprint. They do the 110 high hurdles. That's like higher than me. I'm 5'10". They also do the mile run, and I think I left out the 400, but essentially 10 events, 2 days. It's crazy. And this is what I wanted to do, because my dream was the winner that they get, the title that they give to the winner of the decathlon at the Olympic Games is deemed the title greatest athlete in the world. That's it. And I was like, wow, that's my goal. There are no other goals. And for me, high performance was exceptionally important. And I've got a few key laws of high performance I want to share with you today that are going to help you with whatever you're working on in your life. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. It could be building your public speaking business. It could be building your relationships. It could be building anything, but high performance is the thing that you should focus on most, because again, with that perspective, are you going to set a goal to retire in 45 years? Or are you going to set a goal to be retired in 3 or 4 years and really enjoy yourself? Okay. Sprint. Like high performance demands high attitude, high mindset, and high reaction. Okay. And I'm going to go over some of those just here briefly. But the first law of high performance I want to share with you today. And by the way, associated with these laws are a couple stories that I have never told to anyone in a public forum. These have been stories in my life that I have just started to write into my new speeches. And I'm really excited to share them with you, to test them out, and to ride with you a little bit longer as we journey into this world of you achieving your high performance. So the first things first is that the first law of high performance that you really need to master if you want to achieve goals at an accelerated rate is you got to get your mindset right. Now, we heard that from Mr. Awesome earlier. And by the way, congratulations to Jarrett, to Erin, and to Mr. Awesome. I am honored to even share the stage with those 3 individuals. I'm grateful for PSA and all that this offers as well. Shout out to Brian Wagstaff. Thank you for making this possible, and Sand Diamond for being there for us. I really appreciate the both of you. All right. So the first law of high performance that you need is you need to get your mind right. Let me tell you 2 quick stories, never told on a public forum like this. Actually, one of them was, but the other one isn't. The first one is during that track meet in 2013, where I was competing in the men's decathlon at Colorado State University. I had gone down the route of getting personal trainers and coaches, and I had basically bypassed the collegiate system so that I could train and start working towards the top of the ranks. And as I came to this event, I realized something, because I hadn't been in many other top collegiate events until this point. And I realized that I was smaller, I was chubbier, I was slower than all of these other uber athletes. Like, these guys were stacked, super muscular. Most of them, the average height was like 6'4". They were beasts, but they were also not as coordinated as I was. I'd done a lot of sports and stuff in my youth, and I had a little bit of a background that allowed me to really compete. But I just looked up to these people, literally looked up because they towered over me. And in this series of events, it came one of my best events. I was really good in high school at the high jump. And the high jump is a sport where you run up to a mat. It's got two standards. They raise the bar every couple inches, and you keep jumping over until you can't jump over it anymore. And the higher it goes, the harder it gets, right? Well, my personal record was my own height. I had only jumped 5 feet 10 inches over the bar in high school. And I was just about to attempt that. And I knew that if I wanted to get onto the leaderboard, if I wanted to be ranked in the top 10 in this decathlon, I needed to at least jump 6 feet in the air. That's 2 inches taller than I am standing. And that was no easy feat. Like, that is something that just requires a lot of muscle and focus and so forth. So I'm lining up, and I'll just skip to the chase, because at the end of the game, we finally moved the bar, not from 5'9" or 5'10" to 6 feet, but they moved the bar to 6 feet 1 inch, because that's how they go up. They go up in increments of 2 inches, and they started at 5'7", they went to 5'9", they went to 5'11", which was a personal record for me. But in order to get into the top 10 and ranked, I needed to clear 6 foot, but my only option was 6 feet 1 inch. And I looked at that and said, this is one small step for man, one large leap for Jon, because there is no other option and no way out of this. And I used what I call my mindset to make this happen. I knew that I had everything in the bag. I could use my right speed. I could use the proper form. I could use the technique. I could arch my back and get over this bar. But at the end of the day, I needed to get my mind right, because the devil sneaks in and he just corrals your mind with the things that you do not want. And that was tough. That was really tough. So I had to get my mind right. I took a couple laps around the track. I started doing my breathing exercises. I was working so hard to just focus on me getting over that bar. And it took one thing for me: a small, powerful, but yet calm meditation. I closed my eyes. I saw myself. I literally pictured and envisioned myself getting over that bar, perfect, without flaw. And that became real to me. I said, wow, that was like I already did it. A little bit of deja vu, because as I lined up, I repeated in my mind everything I had just done. And I said, I've been here. I've done this. This is easy. This is deja vu. I've been there. I've done this. Let's do it. Lined up. I sprinted towards the mat. I gave it my best jump. That was the sound of me clearing the bar and landing on the mat. You guys thought I hit the bar, right? You thought it? I cleared it with ease. It was probably my best jump. I have a photo. I'll share it with you on social media. It is the best jump I've ever had. You can see myself like way above the bar. Like I probably jumped 6'3" or 6'4", but it was one of the best jumps I had ever had. And that put me into the top 10. It was an amazing experience. All right. Fast forward about to 2019. I'm now a coach and I coach track and field. And I had the opportunity to do the exact same thing with a young lady in high school who was faced with the challenge of getting to the podium at the state championships here in Utah. And what I did is I took the opportunity to sit her down and I said, this happened to be the moment where I decided that it was possible. It is now your turn to decide what is possible. I had her close her eyes. I had her watch herself jump over the bar. I had herself see herself victoriously winning this competition in high jump. And so she closed her eyes. She envisioned it. She pictured it. And when she opened her eyes, I said, what do you feel? And she said, I feel like I've already done it. I said, so go out there and kick some butt. And she lines up just like I did in my youth. And she sprints towards that bar. And it was one of the best, highest jumps I had ever seen this young lady do. And she was a champion. That one jump made her a champion. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. So again, I want to share that, one, your mindset is your number one law or key to high performance. You got to get your mindset right. But the key to this is raising your bar. raise your bar, raise your excellence, raise everything that allows you to think at higher levels. That's what you need to do. So raise the bar for your expectations, raise the bar for yourself. That is one thing to do for your mindset. Everyone has mindset. Everyone is in their minds, okay? But if your mindset isn't to achieve high performance, to get over the bar, or to run faster, or to get your taxes done before March even starts. All right, there you go, a little tax break here. Whatever your bar is, raise it. Because right now you're thinking here, you need to be here. High expectations, high performance relies on high reaction. All right, that's law number one I wanted to share with you. Law number two is what I am most known for. I was an accountability coach for a number of years. And as an accountability coach, you help a lot of people achieve their daily, their monthly, their weekly, their annual sales goals. Like, this is something that you do. Like, accountability partners should be financial planners, because a financial planner says, hey, let's plan 40 years down from the road, which is important, I'm sure. But what if we planned every day, every week, every month, every year? Those are the good planners I want to hang out with. Okay. And I know there's a few financial planners here in the room. Shout out to you guys. I'm totally knocking your heads just for fun. And I know that what you do is very, very important. And it's helpful, and it saves a lot of families. And I know that there's vehicles to do it. So just shouting out, just playing with you. But I do want you to know that we need to change our mindset from long-term thinking to accelerated thinking. Please, please, please remember that you can get it done at faster rates by just raising the bar. The higher the standard, the more that you'll push. Okay, law number two is you need accountability. There are many channels and modalities of accountability. I'm going to introduce you to 4 really quick forms of accountability that will absolutely accelerate your success. And this is things that I teach on stage. These are things that I teach in my workshops. This is what we teach in our podcast, and so much more. There's just so much. But accountability starts with you. Okay. Accountability is not the doomsday that everyone thinks it is. That you read in the newspaper. Do we even have newspapers anymore? Is there such thing as a newspaper? I haven't held one in so long. I don't even think they're existing anymore. But in the newspaper, if you look at the Wall Street Journal, if you look in, what's going on in the financial world, there's always the holding that person or holding this business accountable for their actions. It's always this doomsday. But accountability is equal to responsibility. Okay. Accountability is equal to responsibility. You might want to write that down. In fact, you should definitely write that down, because accountability relies on the things that you have taken on, the commitments that you've made to yourself. And I always believed that accountability was also equal to integrity, because your own personal integrity with yourself is most important. I'm going to take a quick look here. Okay, I've got 5 minutes. Perfect. This is great. And I wanted to just share with you guys that personal integrity is one of the most important things that you need to develop within yourself. We all know that integrity, or at least we have been told that integrity is what you do when nobody is looking, right? It's keeping your commitments. It's staying in line. It's being obedient. It's doing what you do or what you say you're going to do, and doing it when nobody is looking. That's the key to integrity. But I want to take it one step further, because I don't think it's about who's looking. Because if we're using our own eyes, our own minds, our own senses, our personal selves, are always watching. And if we are always watching, then it doesn't matter what other people think. It's what we think. So personal integrity requires us to focus on achieving that which we personally commit to and doing it. If you achieve to get up every morning and do 100 push-ups, or drink a giant glass of water, or to eat healthy and clean, or to do some exercise, or to pay your bills on time, or whatever your goals might be, have integrity with yourself to do it because you committed to it, not what other people are waiting for you to do when you're under the microscope or in the sight of the public, right? So personal integrity. Another great form of accountability is to have an accountability partner. And this is not somebody who just lets you slide, who's your best pal and buddy. These are the types of people who believe in your dreams as much as they believe in you. These people will not let you slide. They will care about your dreams as if the world can't exist or progress without the accomplishment or the achievement of your goals. That's the kind of person you need to surround yourself with. These people ultimately become the type of people who you want to constantly surround yourself with. And I highly recommend you find an accountability partner, a colleague, a peer, or somebody who has similar interests, because an accountability partner is typically going to request for reciprocity. Reciprocity means you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. I follow up with you, you follow with me. You and I will achieve great things if we work together. And that's the key, because once you master your personal integrity and accountability with yourself, you can grab an accountability partner and you can start to accelerate even faster, because somebody out there is going to be watching all the time, because they require you to be watching all the time as well, setting that standard a little bit higher and focusing on ourselves. All right, that was the second one. I'm going to give you a couple more accountability structures that will absolutely be awesome for you. The third one is you can hire a coach. In fact, I really recommend a coach. When I was training for the Olympics, or when I was on that road to training for the Olympics, I had 3 coaches. I had a developmental coach, I had a conditioning coach, and then I also had a mindset coach, because all 3 were in congruence with helping me achieve the higher performances that I needed to achieve. All right. The third was a professional coach. But the fourth one, you guys kind of see this. Once you've established your personal accountability and integrity with yourself, you've got an accountability partner, you're using a coach who has a systematic key performance indicator measuring process to help you get from point A, which is where you're at, to point Z, which is the accomplishment. Then you are primed and ready to change your culture. And the way you change your culture or your community is to surround yourself with more of those people, the kinds of people who push you, who care about you, who love and want the world to exist with the achievements that you are seeking to acquire. That's the kind of people you want. I call this community. I call this social groups. I call this pod groups. And you can also call this, in other terms, as Erik, Mr. Awesome Swanson, shared in his speech earlier, a mastermind. In fact, a mastermind is the fastest accelerant because it requires personal accountability. You're given accountability partners. There are coaches and mentors in the room that you follow structures by. And they, as a culture and a community of high performers and achievers, they will work with you to achieving your goals at accelerated rates. None of these accountability structures will slow you down. In fact, they will help you take one step back to take 100 steps forward in the progress of your achieving your goals. All right, so there's some accountability. But law number 2 that's absolutely going to help you fast track and acquire your high performance goals is to have systems of accountability. Start with yourself and work your way up. All right, the last law I want to share with you. There are many laws of high performance. I have studied. I'm literally going to turn my camera and show you a bookshelf full of books that all have to do with sales and integrity and goal setting and so much more. And out of all these books, you can find similarities, key indicators, and amazing prospects that will help you understand that, yeah, high performance is what I'm really seeking, because if I'm just going to walk towards my goal, then I'm going to eventually get there. But if I sprint towards my goal as if my life depended on it, then I will achieve that goal and move on to the next goal and then move on to the next goal. And you will live a life that most people will say, what didn't you do? And that's kind of what you want to do by the time you get 45 years down the road to retirement. It's what didn't you do? That's a valuable thing. All right, checking my time here. All right, I got few more minutes. And all I want to share with you is the law number 3 to help you with your high performance and achieving the goals that you want to achieve. Law number 3 today is standards of excellence. I want to share this. This is kind of going back to the mindset idea. But you need to have a standard of excellence. And a standard of excellence is literally what you're striving for. A reminder. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich talks about it in what he calls a statement of desire. where you think of the exact amount of money that you want to achieve, and then you're going to exchange effort and talents and plans in order to acquire that money. And then you're going to plan which date you will receive it. And then that works so much more. I love the statement of desire that Napoleon Hill shares in Think and Grow Rich. There are other forms of, let's call them standards of excellence. My standard of excellence, and I'll give you some options, is I think in terms of gold medals. Okay. Gold medals is my thing. I love gold medals. And a champion is always thinking about what it takes to be the best, not what it takes to be second, third, fourth, or fifth place, what it takes to be the best. And I always remind myself that the gold medal standard is my standard. My standards are always there. And I remind myself, I place gold medals, even if I didn't win them, I just go buy them. I place gold medals and trophies all over my life. I place it hanging in my vehicle. I put them on my TV stand. I put them in my drawer where I get my toothbrush out of. I put them everywhere. Simple, standard reminders that my life is not a life of mediocrity, that my standards are of high performance and acceleration only. And as I turn to my standards of excellence, it is a constant reminder that my number one law is mindset. Get my mind right and envision the outcomes. Number two is that I use accountability to accelerate every part of my goals and my achievements and my processes. And then I use my standards to recognize that I need to keep up leveling, keep raising the bar, and continue pushing myself in a way that I haven't before. To me, and I might be crazy, and I think you guys think I'm crazy too, so that's great. Let's be crazy together. If I am crazy, life is so much more fun, more fulfilling, more enjoyable when you have purpose, when you have mission. And when you're on a mission, I mean, everyone has seen that, I gotta be careful what I say here. Everyone has seen that woman or that lady, that mom or that dad or that person at the grocery store when they are on a mission. They are behind that grocery cart and they are pushing. And then as they push and push and push, they're zipping down aisles, grabbing what they want. These are the kinds of people that we shouldn't fear and get out of the way. These are the kinds of people who we need to be like and emulate because they are on a mission. You too are on a mission. You too have value and purpose, and you want to achieve that. But what brings your life fulfillment is when you have mission and you put yourself in position to be on that mission. And whatever it is, to get to the Olympic Games and get the gold medal, to be the best public motivational speaker in the world, to be the best in your company at sales, at marketing, to be the best mom or dad or brother or sister or anything. Those are missions. To be the best servant of mankind. These are missions. And if you just put it out there, like, that's what I'm going to do. That's my mission. That's my goal. That's my life. What are you doing in the process of doing that? What's your mindset? What accountability structures do you have to make sure that that's what you actually achieve? And what are your standards of excellence? I met a person the other day, and I'll wrap this up, who said, my goal is to have my voice reach 1 billion people. I said, great. Why? They said, well, it'd be cool to, know that I reached 1 billion people. It's like, but what is it all for? And he said, I guess I have a motivational message. I'm like, what is the message? He says, well, I guess that, my message, and he starts stumbling over his words. Like, I guess the message is to love one another, love other people, just like the great commandment of God. And I said, so what are you gonna do about it? And he realized that he didn't have a standard of excellence. His mindset was, that would be nice 45 years down the road, but I had no plan. I had no accountability. I had nothing in place to achieve that goal. And I said, now you understand the law of high performance. Stop saying what you're going to do and what you hope that comes of it, and start taking action. Be a high performer. And that's how you do it. These are several irrefutable laws of the many irrefutable laws that I teach from stage, in workshops, and all over the globe. I encourage you to reach out to me on social media. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or my favorite, TikTok, baby. What's up? Find me on TikTok. I'm not doing any dances. You are welcome. And I will love to connect with you there. Also, I have a podcast called the Circle of Knowledge podcast, where we share insights such as these to help you improve your life. But the fastest way to reach me is to go to one of my websites. The website I'll give you today is called Linktree/Jon Kovach Jr. That's JONKOV as in victory, ACHJR. And that's Linktree. I'll put it in the chat right now. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking yourself seriously. And it's time to take action. Be a high performer. Don't be somebody who just wants to acquire a goal or plan 45, 60 years down the road. We don't got time for that. Because if you're planning for something in 45 or 50 years, and by tragedy, you leave us early, you'll have missed the mark by so many years. Sprint towards your goals. You will be glad you did. Accelerate in every avenue and passion and purpose in your life. And with that, my name is Jon Kovach Jr. This has been an awesome tribute and an amazing opportunity. Thank you. I will take questions if anyone has any with the 1 minute that we have left. Thank you, Brian, and thank you, PSA, for having me.
No questions? All right. I guess everyone is ready to.
There's one question from Frankie.
Oh, all right.
He put his yellow hand up.
Hey everyone, yeah, this is Frankie here. Thanks for taking my question. Hey Jon, great job today, man. Just always bringing a lot of value to people. Really appreciate your energy. My question is, how does someone know? You mentioned working with different coaches. How does someone know that they're ready to hire a coach?
Ooh, that's a great question. And by the way, you guys get to know Frankie Fagurger, an amazing and esteemed professional in the financial world. He has a remarkable story, and he's a #1 best-selling author. He's also an author of amazing children's books. Get to know Frankie. He's awesome. The question is how do you know when someone is ready to hire a coach? So here's a great example. When I was training on the path to train for the Olympics, I recognized 3 areas of my life that I was failing in or that I was struggling with that was required for me to either achieve that level of performance or make it to the Olympic stage. And I recognized that I needed not just a track and field coach. In fact, I fired my track and field coach. More like I left and I didn't get my scholarship. And I fired that's the angle of the story here. I fired my track and field coach. I hired an endurance coach who focused on my mobile health, which was, my kinesiology, my kinesthetics and all my movement. I also hired a coach that focused on my training, so gave me the exercises in specific training per event. And then I hired a mindset coach because I recognized that the dark devil of disgrace and depression was seeping into every part of my workouts and my life. I recognized that I couldn't do it alone. And so at that moment, I knew that the time to hire a coach was when I lacked all the resources and knowledge and the accountability partner to help me achieve it. So for anyone who's like, man, I should probably hire a coach, you probably should. But before you do, identify the areas in your life that coach will fill. Because the purpose of a coach isn't because you need a coach. The purpose of the coach is that they have a strategic, measurable system that has been used, tested, and proven before that will help you achieve and acquire the dream or goal that you are currently working towards. Once you do that and have aligned and figured out, well, that's the space I need, then you now know that person or that coach or that mentor is going to fill that space for you. And specifically, that person is going to help you get there because you usually pay for a coach. That's just 99% of the time. Sometimes there's trades, but when you pay for a coach, your skin is in the game. And that person should be dedicated enough to take your money and to focus on your growth. And that's my advice, because from the perspective of an athlete, you definitely want to pick a coach based on the things that you want to acquire, but you don't have the necessary means to do so because you either lack the response, you lack the intelligence or the information or the resources to do so. I actually hired a coach at one point, not because of their athletic ability or their training, but because that coach actually owned the facility that I needed to train in. And this was in about 2013 when I started making my transition. And in 2013, I hired a coach basically just so that I could use their facility and train indoors during the winter time. So that's a long answer to your quick question. Thank you for the question, Frankie. You guys go check him out too. He is an amazing human being. We should get Frankie on here, by the way. He's an awesome speaker. Thanks for the question. Any other questions? I think we got to run. Excellent answer. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Frankie, for the question. And thanks, Jon, for speaking. And thanks to our other speakers, Jarrett, Erin, and Erik. And for anyone who's on here listening to us that doesn't know much about the Public Speakers Association, if that's new to you, come check us out at our website, publicspeakersassociation.com, and learn more. And our next virtual summit will be 4 weeks from today, Thursday, March 10th, same time. And yeah, that's going to do it for today. So thanks for being here. Bye-bye.